Good evening, Conversations. We are going to have an outstanding program today. I've got some special guests that I'm going to announce shortly. I've got just a very few remarks that I want to share with you. Number one, we have Lisa Bybee, who is Vice President of Sales and Marketing and also Success Coach. She is going to be handling the chat room. See her. Give her a round of applause for Lisa over there in the chat room. Yes, and I am Jesse Farrell. I am professional speaker and executive success coach. I am going to be handling my and our special guest here in the studio. It's going to be so much fun. We actually also want to talk about, just really quickly, an announcement that we have this Sunday. We have our live version of Conversations where we select about 4 to 12 people that are going to connect with us in a very live laboratory, life laboratory that is, and we'll create a dialogue, which we call Empowering Conversations, for about 90 minutes, and there's about 2 spots left for that. You just go to justtalk.com, and then you can email us if you're interested in that, and we will take it from there. Lisa will handle that. We also have Happy Hour Coach that's coming up. That's going to be on August 18th, and that's going to be at Payman's. That is going to be an outstanding program with Tim Ressmeyer out of Chicago. Tim Ressmeyer is a PhD, which makes him pretty hard darn working. PhD, I think that's what that stands for. And he's a sharp guy. He's an executive coach and a personal professional development coach himself. And we're going to watch Tim shine while we support him as best way we can. That's going to be, again, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the 18th here of August. That'll be awesome. Now, getting down to the fun stuff, I am so very happy to welcome 2 very special guests here on the program. We've got, to my right, we've got Linda Bonnici. Round of applause for Linda, please. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Recently retired Vice President of Sales from KLAS TV. Yes?
Yes,
You
that's
put
correct.
some time there, didn't you, lady?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
21 years.
We're going to talk about that because you don't look like you could have put in 21 years.
Thank you, Jeff.
And we got Tony Bonnici over here. Tony Bonnici, Vice President and General Manager of Lotus Broadcasting.
That's correct.
Do you have your 21 years in?
I have my 30 years.
I knew you were going to say that. 21 plus 9.
That's it.
So very, very good. This is actually going to be a great program with the 2 of you on. I'm actually getting the chance to broadcast with real broadcasters.
Ooh.
Not like you guys are real broadcasters.
Well, this is we should take a stab at it, that's for sure.
Tony's like, wait a minute now. I didn't think I was supposed to feel all this pressure on the show. So let's talk about, we're going to hop around a little bit, but what I want to talk about really is August 15th. There's something really special coming up here. What do you say to that August 15th date?
Well, it's a big day for a couple of reasons,
Okay.
but the one I care most about is that we get to announce all of the scholarship recipients
Nice.
for the Tony and Linda Bonnici Scholarship Fund.
And tell us what that is, please, so we all know.
Okay, it is. I have to back up a bit, if that's okay.
Sure.
Tony was inducted into the not only the Hall of Fame, but achieved a Lifetime Achievement Award.
This guy?
Yes, 5 years ago.
Give me a bump on that.
Yeah, Nevada Broadcasters. And
Nice.
Something real.
he only agreed to do it if this foundation could be formed.
Nice.
And I think that's probably the most important thing. And he would never tell anybody that. That's something
That's huge.
It is. And when that began, the 2 of us got hard at work in trying to find a way to get out to these kids that are wanting to get into broadcasting,
Wow.
but they don't know how. And some of them can't afford the tuition, can't afford anything, to go to college, let alone to pursue a broadcasting degree, as well as get some experience.
I love that. So you created that based on his saying, I'll only do it if we can do something even bigger with that.
That's correct.
Well, we had the support of a fellow by the name of Bob Fisher, who
I was going to speak about Bob Fisher.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He was the president for Nevada Broadcasters at the time.
Okay.
And Bob was hugely supportive of having a foundation like this. So.
It's incredible. I just have to say to you, that's an extremely powerful giving piece because that money has to come from somewhere. And these kids that get that scholarship or get those scholarships, I should say, you are changing their lives.
Well, can I clock in for a second on that? The money is obtainable. You can find money somehow, usually. I say that loosely, because it is a difficult thing to get. So money's one part of it.
You said you can find money easily.
That's what I say. You shouldn't say easily.
Some of my brothers on the street can find money easily. Okay,
but
you're not talking about those guys, right?
Money's obtainable somehow.
Funding, student loans,
money you
have to pay back.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The thing that happens to a lot of kids that they graduate from college, and not just in broadcast, a lot of different things.
For sure.
They don't know how to get into the industry. Whatever it is they go to. So what we supported, and the internship that's provided gets them in a front door. They get to actually be in a building. Kids go to college all the time for something and never step into the building and of what it is that business is all about. And then they get out of college with their degrees. And then where do I even go to apply for this? How do I do this?
Well said. I like that. That's a really integral part. But I also want to flash back and say, getting the money part for those thriving, curious, creative, interested souls that may come from a disposition where they don't have that opportunity, it's just as huge as what you just said. I think it's a two-part, don't you?
Yeah, scratch the money not being important. It is important. I didn't
No,
mean
you
that.
didn't say it wasn't important. You said it was easy, and I thought you were talking about the brothers on the streets.
No,
the way they
scratch that.
Get it kind of easy, a little breaking and entering and knocking and whatever. But I want to go back to scholarship for a second, because you're sitting across from a scholarship recipient. The only way that I could go to school, I graduated in Northern Nevada, Hawthorne, Nevada, and the only way that I could go to school, there were 8, my parents had 8 kids. The only way I could go is because of a Tony and Linda Bonnici. It was called a DeVos Scholarship, DEVOS. It was a full ride scholarship to UNLV for fine arts.
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome.
That was the only way I could go. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you how those children feel and their families, because I'm a recipient of a very similar situation.
Well, and Linda and I see the faces and the tears and everything when we do award the kids.
Yes, because they can't believe it.
So so scratch that about coming easy. I was simply trying to make my point that having the opportunity to be inside and a field that they want to get into.
Did you see Tony put his fists up? I had him up on the ropes. Did you see that, Linda?
Yeah.
You did, yeah.
When he saw the brother up on top of him, he just put his fist up like that. He did a little rope-a-dope like Muhammad Ali a little bit. But he came out fighting.
He did.
So that's good. No, I really do get your point. And I just think it's absolutely fabulous. And I didn't want it to just be words saying that I think it's fabulous. I really wanted you to really feel that.
Well, I'll talk about feeling it. Linda, what she didn't mention yet about Saturday night, she is receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award.
And I wanted to mention that. Thank you let's talk about that. NVBA is what we call it, right?
Nevada Broadcasters Association is the parent kind of umbrella company.
Okay.
And Nevada Broadcasters Foundation is the one that houses the scholarship.
And you're getting a Lifetime Achievement Award from that?
From the association.
Broadcasters Association.
Wow. Another round of applause. Yep. How's that leave you feeling?
Thank you. Well, humble. I'm not old enough to achieve a lifetime achievement. I feel like that goes to people who have changed laws or, done something so dramatic that anytime you would mention their name or their business, you would say, oh, yes, that's, so-and-so, or
no,
that's not me.
No, that goes to special people that have given of themselves tirelessly for the right reason, with the right cause and the right energy, just never ending until the job gets done. That's you.
Well,
I'd agree with that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
But I'm sorry, I interrupted you. That's rude because you were a lady. I'm a man. I shouldn't. But I didn't want that to stick.
No, that's cool. No, thank you.
I wanted you to know it also goes to special people like you. And I really mean that. I think when someone gives from their heart, when you're a heart-centered giver, is there anything bigger and better or stronger than that?
No,
absolutely.
And can't you feel that when someone's in a situation like what we're talking about and they're giving from the generosity of their heart, the wealth and the full expansion of their heart, you can feel that. That gets into everybody, right?
I'll tell you, the whole foundation concept is so humbling for both of us. Now, I have a hard time even saying, the Tony and Linda Bonnici
right.
Scholarship Foundation. I mean, I never do. I always say, well, the Nevada Broadcasters.
We say the Broadcasters Foundation.
Is and I don't mean to throw you into the bus, but saying that, is that almost like saying money's easy?
Oh, thank you very
So
much.
I'm sorry if that's the last time I'm going there.
Now this is streaming, right? So there's no FCC thing.
So you get to tell me anything you want.
So I could tell you where to go.
And I might jump off too. Go take a flying. Right.
Got it. You got it.
I got it. That's good. No, I get it. So because you're humble about it, because again, the reason why you're so humble about it is because it's sincere and it comes from the heart. You're not doing it for the notoriety.
Right. We do it because these kids, they have found something that they're good at or that they love. I mean, when you talk to them, and as soon as you say to them that you work at a television station or a radio station, their eyes are popping out of their head. They cannot wait for you to stop talking so that they can hurry up and tell you how great they are at whatever. They want to be the next network anchor, or they want to, oh my God, I love filming everything and putting together my own little story.
Right.
Do you know when I was a kid, I sat with my hairbrush and talked into it, like I was to practice in the mirror. It's infectious.
It is. It really is.
It is absolutely infectious.
And is that why you do what you do? Tell me, why did you get into broadcasting in the first place? And you specialized primarily in television, correct?
I did.
Did you do all of it?
I started in radio.
Okay.
And then somebody else got into radio, so I had to go to TV.
I got it. Somebody said, baby, there's two of us, so one of us. How long
I don't want to compete against you because I know who's going to win.
Oh, boy. Let's see. And we want to keep the relationship.
Right.
So this is what we call, that's what we call building relationship equity.
Yeah, well, being married 37 years, I've learned a few things. Right?
37, round of applause for that.
Yeah,
well, it's actually 38. But
38 now, but who's counting?
You guys are killing me.
I know, I'm sorry. That's the last.
It's just not his day.
But you know what, Linda? That's the last beat up on Tony moment, because we only have 15 more minutes in the program. So
that's right.
We got to let this guy, at least, all I see is Tony's toes underneath the bus is all I see right about now. A nice suit, looking good, beautiful shirt, hair. As they say in my neighbor, you got your hair did and everything, or hair done, if you want to say it correctly. Yeah. And we got him. We keep rolling him under the bus. So
okay, we won't anymore. But we did both kind of fall into the business.
But you were both in radio at the same time in the early days.
For about 6 months.
Okay, and then you rolled to television.
Yes. We both got our jobs kind of I got mine by just applying, and it was much more exciting than the other offer I got to be a receptionist at a radio station.
Okay, fair enough.
And then once I was in the business, he saw the kind of cars that people I worked with drove.
Right, nice.
And said,
Tony.
I'm from Detroit.
Oh, that's
he
all
said,
it took.
what am I doing in construction? This is so, I'm not kidding you. He applied at every single radio station in town, and they all turned him down.
Wow. And then when did it turn around?
When I offered to work for free.
Seriously.
Swear to God.
Wow.
Yes.
And then we're going to go back and forth. So when you offered to work for free, how long did they accept that free offer?
Yes.
And how long did they allow you to do that?
The gentleman, actually that part of the story was, gentleman was Morgan Skinner.
Okay.
And he said, what do you mean you'll work for free? And he said, come on in, I'll talk to you. And I said, just pay me whatever, give me commission. Just if I sell something, pay me. That's it. Don't give me any salary, don't do anything. And he said, I'll give you a shot. Then he came back and said, we can't do that. We have to pay you something, so we're going to pay you $400 a month. So I came home to Linda and said, I love this job. I already got a raise, man. This is fantastic.
What a cool story. That's I love that. You sound like Norman Vincent Peale, because Norman Vincent Peale, I believe I'm saying that correctly, he started out for nothing working for the president. The president said to him one day, back in the day, he says, well, how much are we paying for you? How much are we paying you for this? He said, that's something we haven't talked about. He says, why don't you just put me on the payroll for $1? Very similar type of thing. And look what Norman Vincent Peale has done, the power of positive thinking. So that was you got the power of positive thinking on your side. Now back to you, Linda. So when you got started, what was it like, females in the business?
It was different. Different, good and bad. Different, the what everyone knows, that it was tough because people just didn't give me any kind of credibility.
For sure, in the early days.
Yeah. I mean, I would walk into a business and I swear to you, a man across the desk would say to me, well, honey, why don't you bring your boss in and we can talk about rates and maybe sign a contract.
Oh, my goodness. You can do everything except talk about the deal.
Exactly.
See?
So I would just have to bite my tongue and say, you know what? We can talk about it right now. Really, we can.
Did they
I get to
accept it?
do that. And they did. And
wow.
I actually gained a few friends that way because they respected that, I didn't back down.
But you also have to do it with some level of grace.
You do. You
right?
do. And I think that's what they liked. And truly, I took what was different about me and took advantage of it. Every other salesperson walking in the door was a gentleman.
Right.
And I was not. So I took advantage of that difference and said, okay, they're sick of seeing these guys walk in.
Right. Smart.
I'm going to come in with a whole different style and a whole different look. And then I'm going to get in the door where they may not.
Very nice.
And
you
that
worked
happens.
with what you had, not what you didn't have.
Exactly.
Huge.
I didn't know what I didn't know.
I love that.
I had not gone to college. I had no idea anything about sales or radio for that matter. And it was really, literally trial by fire.
I love this. It's actually a great story. So then I'm going to slide over to you. At this stage of your development, how long did you work at that $400 a month? And then,
well,
it wasn't very long.
It wasn't, for like I'd say about 8 months after being in the business.
Okay.
I started getting offers from other companies.
Very nice.
And then
all the companies that turned them down the first time.
Yeah,
couldn't believe they turned them down.
What? Rejection's coming. That's the greatest, though. I mean, if you don't get rejection, you don't even understand how to deal with rejection. And in sales, you'd get a lot of rejection.
You do.
That's just the way it is.
But, Tony, you make it sound so easy. And I know you believe what you say, and I know you feel and have lived what you're saying. But there are a lot of people listening to this podcast that rejection is not easy. And rejection is very difficult. So you learn very early on how to deal with that rejection and turn that into giving you more incentive to get out there until you got a yes, right?
I can't really explain why rejection didn't bother me. I can't explain that. It just was a thing that I just never did.
You weren't going to stand for it. One of the reasons you figured you're going to keep going until you finally get a yes.
I was a happy guy. I still am. Things are good. I even when you deal with a bump in the road, it's just a learning experience.
It really is, isn't it?
And it sounds cliche, but it's how I live.
No, but living that kind of a standard, it keeps you better balanced. It keeps you better in focus. It doesn't let you your self-esteem drop, and then your courage and your tenacity, all that gets to stay with you. You take these challenges. Many people get hit with disappointments and rejection on an everyday basis. It's not about what happens to you. It's about what you do about what happens to you. Yeah. And that's where you come in.
We tell the kids this, that they're going through yes, they got a scholarship. Yes, they're going to have an internship. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy after that.
Thank you.
That you're still going to have to apply at 100 different stations in little bitty towns that you do not want to live in, but you're going to have to get some experience. So be prepared for that. And we try to give them as much real life as possible while they're going to school.
I love that. Because
otherwise they get out in their little Pollyanna and they think they're going to go and get a job in Los Angeles as the lead anchor for Fox News or something. They just don't. They sometimes don't quite get it. So you really have to tell them.
People like both of you doing exactly what you're doing. You're doing things well beyond the Tony and Linda Bonnici Scholarship. That's well beyond. That's just not putting your money. That's putting your whole self at the process, at what you're aiming to improve, which is young folks coming up in the business and how they're going to get their first education, right?
Well, Jess, there's a bunch of folks that support us as well. I mean,
who else is supporting you right now?
We've got a board.
Okay.
We do a great board,
and they're fantastic, and they give. Our foundation, quite frankly, everything we've had, and we've given 55 scholarships, full credited paid scholarships.
Wow.
We did 22 this year.
Wow.
Okay. Our biggest year.
And we're not a foundation that gets the big donations. We don't get the $5,000, $10,000 donation. We do it $1 at a time by auctions and golf tournaments and things like that. And
bitty fundraisers.
Yeah, the board and the fundraising committee, which are all volunteers.
Nice.
So they're in the same boat we are. It's not all Tony and Linda. I guarantee you.
No, I figured that you've got an infrastructure behind you of people that believe in you.
Yes.
Quick question. I'm going to ask this to Linda. She might be a little bit. I'm not so sure because Tony pretty straight up. Can you break off a little piece of that scholarship for a brother that's struggling in business? Or I'm just
you can go back to college right now.
Oh, see, now I got to go back to school and get
it. Study broadcasting, and then we'll support you. You don't have to be right out of high school.
Well, Linda, that's a Tony Bonnici answer, by the way. But
wait a minute. The man did throw me under the bus.
Okay. You have to have board approval.
Now he wants some money, right?
You have to have board approval, so I can't guarantee you everyone's going to vote for you.
Fair enough. That's some good stuff. I thought I had him, but man, this is a twin tower concept over here. I feel like there's two twin towers just caved in right on me. I like it. Very good. Let's talk about this. Senator Harry Reid and Mrs. Landra Reid, they're going to be a part of the whole gala event?
Yes. They are. They are being honored as well. And MGM Resorts International is being honored. And Mr. Bob Fisher, who we just were talking about, for his many, many years of service to Nevada broadcasters.
He's like the godfather of broadcasting.
Bob did a lot in his time running Nevada broadcasters.
Okay.
I mean, he did, and again, I credit him with the foundation. I mean, he's the guy that really
made it happen.
Nice.
Under
the catalyst.
broadcaster. Oh, absolutely.
Nice. Very nice. Well, let me ask you, on the MGM Resorts International, they're getting a community service award.
Yes.
And tell me, what did they do to get that? Brilliant company.
Because I'm not on Nevada Broadcasters Association board, I know that they walked through all the qualifications.
It's a deeper
for
process,
each of,
for sure.
Yes.
The MGM?
But it's very apparent to what they do in the community.
They do a ton. They support so many different foundations in town. They give grants. I know I'm involved with the Ronald McDonald House as well, and we just received, I won't tell you the number, but a nice grant from them. The MGM folks, as a whole company, they're amazing people.
I happen to amen that because, first off, I was an executive for MGM Resort for 3 years back in the day as a marketing executive.
So they had their downfalls.
Oh, I'm still coming off from under the bus. Man, does Tony Bonnici know this is my show? Or does he care?
So.
He thinks he's back at Lotus Broadcasting again.
So, yeah.
That man, he carries that GMVP everywhere he goes. Always reminding us. That was good. It was really good. No, I got some feet left after that. I'm still. But MGM Resorts International today, Just Talk is very, very thankful for MGM Resorts International. We do and have done work for the Mirage, for MGM Resorts International corporate, and also Excalibur and Luxor, and a few other legs there. And they are a wonderful company to do work with, and I love the girth of the way they go after the things that they want, and typically is in service of others.
Oh, absolutely.
They really
right?
are.
So that's very, very good. And the Bob Fisher thing, fishing back to him, I'm happy to learn more about what he has meant to the industry. Mm-hmm. If a young broadcaster, wannabe broadcaster out there that's watching right now, what would you tell them? Start with you, Tony, and then Linda, I want you to answer this as well. What would you tell a young broadcaster looking to get in and make their mark and do some really good work in broadcasting today versus how it was when you first started? What would you tell them?
Well, I don't think it's changed much, from what they should do in the beginning.
Okay.
Until from the beginning when we first got in the business to what it's like today. I would say get in, work hard, learn about all the different jobs within a broadcast facility, and be willing to do everything and anything.
Nice.
And just don't complain about it. Go to work, do it, and learn.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't be one of those individuals. Like, for instance, if you're working somewhere for 3 years, don't be a person that has 1 year experience, 2 times, 3 times over.
Right.
Get every year you're in the business, make sure you have that many years of experience.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Great advice. What about you, Linda?
I would say here's this whole new generation coming up. We recognize that our industry is changing, radio and television both. And we need them, these young people, their minds, their ideas on how to navigate this future. So I would say to them, stick to what you like and what you're doing and what you know.
Nice.
And find a way to integrate that into this traditional type of broadcast, because otherwise we will go the way of newspapers. We don't want to do that. That is part of the reason for the scholarship and the foundation, is because we know we not only need people to replace us, but we need new thoughts, new energy, new paths.
Very nice.
We really do.
I love that.
Just can I comment about broadcasting for a second?
Yes.
People think broadcasting is all about entertaining and informing.
Sure.
What they don't realize is all the things we do as broadcasters, from homeland security and safety to we support so many different nonprofits out there ourselves. As broadcasters, we spend millions of dollars every year in cash
Public
and airtime, everything we do.
Sure.
I would be willing to say I don't think there's a nonprofit out there that somehow a broadcaster isn't affiliated with, involved with one way or another.
Helping.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that is such an extraordinary. I'm learning more on this, and I've done work with Lotus Broadcasting several times. We've done some great work. I've not done anything with KLAS yet. I've had a few talks with them, but I'm learning more today than I thought I knew more than I really did know. I love that last piece where you tell them that broadcasting is more than just entertainment and all that. You have a bigger responsibility out there, and so I love that.
Absolutely.
And that's what the foundation's all about, is to bring the brightest and hardworking, committed people, that young people that are interested in that, because, I mean, I'm telling you, businesses rely on what we do.
I love more than they even know a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Talk to us about, I have a note here, 100% of the Nevada Broadcasters Annual Hall of Fame silent and live auction proceeds benefit the Tony and Linda Bonnici Scholarship.
Yes.
Tell us, give us some, because we've got about 3 minutes left.
Okay.
3-4 minutes. I want them to know about that silent auction. How do they
it's
reach you
awesome.
and get involved?
Oh my gosh. First of all, NVBAGala.org is where you go to get the link. You can just make a straight up donation, or you go right to the auction site. We have so much good stuff. You can be a bit actor on Pawn Stars. You can buy a puppy.
Okay.
You can get tickets to Celine Dion and dinner at a Bazaar Meat.
Nice.
There's so much variety. You want to do a helicopter ride down the strip, take out your date and really impress them. There's the variety from little, $50 Freddy's car washes
for sure
to, we hope $5,000 for a week in Tahoe at Glenbrook. And so we have a huge variety of auction items.
Can they see that on the website?
They can. You don't have to be at the gala. Gala, I wouldn't say this before now, but the gala is sold out. So you can't get tickets anyways.
I was going to ask where to buy tickets.
Maybe for you, Jess. Since Tony treated you so poorly, maybe for you.
But I leaned on him early, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I've never seen the man like this before.
This one I don't like to mention too often because I want to buy this one myself. Dinner for 12 cooked at your home from Wolfgang Puck.
Wow.
How about that?
Let's round of applause for that one.
Yeah.
Round of applause. That's
awesome.
a good one.
That is awesome.
The Wolfgang Puck?
No, his executive chef.
Yeah.
Just the Puck.
Yes,
no, I'm
just
kidding.
the Puck is coming. Yeah, not Wolfgang.
No, that's really, really good. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
How can people reach you, Tony, if they want to learn more about what you do and how you do? Well,
I'd say just call the radio station.
Which radio station?
Lotus Broadcasting. Thank you very much. Call Lotus Broadcasting at 702-876-1460 and just ask for me, and you'd be amazed when I come out and say hello.
And you know what? He actually does, too. And he's real cool with it, too. Usually he's got something on his mind and something in his hands. So this is a thinker right here. How can people reach you, Linda?
Well, currently I am retired. So that's you don't
round
want
of applause for retirement. Yes. Good job. Good job.
You don't want to reach me at home.
No, because that's not going to be happening.
Yeah, not look pretty.
Okay.
But I
think you'll be fine, but okay.
A lot of work through the foundation, so through Nevada Broadcasters Office. And then certainly my husband could get a hold of me easily by
So they can call Lotus to get to you.
That's right.
Nice.
Well, if they're going to do that, all right. Tony B at lvradio.com.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. You two have been incredibly gracious and great folks to have on the show, which I knew you would be. And the conversation was it just rolled. It had a great rhythm to it. I think sharing what you've shared with people in the spirit of which you've done it is it's magical. I love these magical moments. And I think it's better when it's organic, don't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Jess, thanks for having us.
No, You're awesome. You're awesome. I really, really appreciate having you. And I want to tell people where they can find, where they can also see us or find us on other areas other than just right here through the station, which is good. You can find us actually on Google TV, on YouTube, on RSS feed for sure, Facebook, Twitter, and of course Vegas Video. Definitely round of applause for Vegas Video Network. They can find us here. If it wasn't for Scott and his brilliance, we would still be sitting on the couch, not broadcasting. They can also find us on Roku and iTunes, Apple TV, YouTube, Stitcher.
Well,
that's some pretty good distribution, right?
I agree.
I'm talking.
Good.
This is
big time
I'm
here.
just. This is just not Boys in the Hood. I'm telling you. I've come a long ways here because of people like you.
Yeah,
and that's really true. But what we like to say, we do pride ourselves on seeking to leave people feeling excellent, revived, charged, energized, excited, and we like to say we wrote the book on how you leave them feeling. And that's how we'll end the broadcast. You two have left us feeling exceptional and it's all about how you leave them feeling.
Yeah.